Correct?
Correct.
May I approach?
Yes.
That was a question for the judge. I have no idea why Jennifer McCabe just said yes to that one. Again, goes to show how much she wants to be in control. Oh, see, that was not the question. Nothing was obstructing your vision, was it? I wasn't looking at the ground. Another telltale sign of deception. Pay attention. You made sure that you didn't look out the window. Why is that important? Because then she would see a body. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to your favorite show on the internet, Raw Law Unfiltered, with your favorite host of all time, the DUI Guy. Plus today, this is going to be an insane video today. You have to watch this all the way to the end. You will not believe. I have never seen a cross-examination like this one. Alan Jackson goes for the jugular. He does not pull any punches. He does not hesitate. He just absolutely obliterates, annihilates, eviscerates Jennifer McCabe today in today's video. Oh my God, folks. You do not want to miss this one. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, by the way. Lots and lots and lots more of this content coming your way.
As a matter of fact, the entire time that you looked out at that vehicle with that clear and that good view, you didn't see anything out of the ordinary, did you?
No.
And you would agree with me, as you looked at the SUV, you're looking over the lawn to the SUV out at the street, correct?
Correct.
There was no obstruction between you and the SUV. You've already testified to that, is that right?
Correct.
And you could see everything in your field of view.
Correct.
She is quite flustered.
And then you saw the SUV gone. It had driven away after 12:45.
Correct.
Notice how her voice just kind of getting quieter and quieter. Where is he going with this? You can almost see the gears grinding in her head. Where is he going with this? What is he trying to pinpoint? Did I screw something up? Did I make a mistake somewhere? No, it seems right. So far, so good. No pitfalls. Let's see where it goes.
So I have a question, Ms. McCabe.
Mm-hmm.
Where was the body?
I have no idea. I'm assuming the body was on the front lawn.
The problem with that is you were looking at the front lawn, weren't you?
I was looking at the vehicle and where it had moved.
Do you know what field of view is?
Would you like to explain it?
She knows what field of view means. How can you be looking at an SUV that is here and not see a body that is here, right? How can you see the SUV move? The body is right there, barely with any dusting of snow on it. Wouldn't that catch your attention? Ooh, this is really bad, Jennifer. This is bad.
You had a clear and good view across that lawn to the SUV, didn't you?
When it was straight out, I did, yes.
You had a clear and good view of that SUV the entire time until it left, didn't you?
I could see the black SUV, correct.
Nothing was obstructing your vision.
I wasn't looking at the ground.
I didn't ask
Oh, see, that was not the question. Nothing was obstructing your vision, was it? I wasn't looking at the ground. The fact that she's getting so defensive is another telltale sign of deception. Pay attention.
Not the ground yet. We'll get to the ground. Nothing was obstructing your vision, was it?
No.
So you had a clear and good, your words, not mine, a clear and good view of the SUV
Yes.
and everything in front of it.
I never said everything in front of it. I saw the SUV. It's black. It has lights on. And as it moved, I could see it with its lights.
And you had a clear view of everything between you and the SUV. All the things closer to you and the SUV.
I wouldn't say that.
You mentioned the flagpole, didn't you? And yet, after seeing the SUV move, you're claiming that You couldn't see an object laying on your front lawn? The object, of course, unfortunately, being the deceased body of John O'Keefe. Or maybe at the time, it would have been potentially the dying body, unless you are the one who dumped it out there and you knew that he was dying. And that is why you searched how long it's going to take him to die in the cold. Maybe he was still alive after the snot was beaten out of him. Yeah, you see how it doesn't make any sense, and how defensive she is about this line of questioning is really sus. Extremely sus. It makes no logical sense how you can be staring at the vehicle, and yet, again, remember, I'm going to turn, you're not going to see this intentionally, right? There's the vehicle, and there's John's body, right? Jennifer McCabe is looking at it like this. How would you see the SUV, but not John's body that is right here? Even when the vehicle moves, right? The vehicle now moved this way and the body remained, let's say, this way, in this direction. How would you be able to see the car so clearly, but not something lying on your front lawn? That's what Alan Jackson is trying to make sure the jury understands. There is no way out of this for Jennifer McCabe, no matter how many mental gymnastics she's going to try and do. The jury has heard it. The damage is done. It's already too late. She tries, but she fails miserably to escape the inevitable fate of her lies starting to become unraveled, uncovered.
So your view was obstructed on what was between you and the SUV, but not obstructed on the SUV?
That's not what I was saying.
But
No,
that's what
of
it
course
sounds
not,
like.
Because if you had a clear field of view to the SUV, you could see everything in front of it as well,
Yes.
meaning between you and the SUV as well.
If
Exactly.
I'm looking straight out at an SUV, I'm not looking down at the ground.
Let me ask you a question about that.
That's not how that works, lady. You are not like 2 feet away looking at something and you have to go like this. If you're looking at something in the distance, you're going to see everything leading up to the object you're looking at. It is extremely unbelievable that you did not notice John O'Keefe laying there in the ground. That's because he wasn't.
You're focusing right now on my face
Yes.
as you're answering these questions. You think you'd see, I don't know, an alligator sitting in front of me if it was there?
Objection, Your Honor.
You think you would see something? Can you clearly see that there is nothing between you and me except a podium?
Yes. Well, there's a table.
And you don't have to look down to see that, right?
Correct.
You're looking directly in my face,
Yes.
but you can see things that are between you and me because you have a field of vision,
There
right?
you go.
Objection.
So I'm going to see counsel at sidebar for just a minute.
Ms. McCabe, as you looked over that flat lawn with that good and clear view of the SUV, you could see the SUV and everything between you and the SUV, correct?
When I looked out the front window, I could see the SUV clearly, like I'm looking at you right now, and it was further away than you are.
And you did it not once, not twice, not 3 times. You did it 5 times, and then a 6th after it was gone, correct?
Correct.
And after that SUV was gone, and you looked out that window with that clear and good view, there was no body, was there?
I never saw a body.
Oh!
Wish I had.
And I never understood that statement. I never saw a body. I wish I had. Matt said this, Matthew McCabe. Jennifer has said this. Brian Albert has said this. Julie Albert has said this. The 4 leaders of the mafioso clan, of the McAlberts, they all have said the exact same thing. I didn't see a body. I looked out. I didn't see a body. I wish I had, but I didn't. After the SUV leaves, you look out the window and you don't see a body. That means there was no body. That statement right there is going to be saved for closing, of course. He's not going to ask that because, of course, she's going to say, yes, there was a body. There's no point in asking that question. The damage is done. Jennifer McCabe is already cooked on that particular point. There's no reason to try and finagle anything more out of her. You have to remember, cross-examination is a very subtle art. It's a very creative art form of an orator, especially when you're asking questions of a person who is resisting to answer. And so getting them to the correct place where you want them to be sometimes can be a bit difficult. It's not always easy. And with Jennifer McCabe, you can see Alan Jackson has to keep bringing her back to basics because she's always trying to slither away. She's like a wet water snake. You ever try to catch a water snake? They're so slippery. Not only are they slithering snakes to begin with, but they're also wet. They're a lot harder to catch than, let's say, if it was a dry snake on the ground. She's kind of like a wet water snake, just slithering at every opportunity. He has to keep catching her. Like, okay, Jennifer, Ms. McCabe, let's go back. My question is, don't stop volunteering information. My question is, answer, yes or no? Yes. All right, thank you. Now we can move on. Whereas before he starts asking, like, Ms. McCabe, that's not what happened. That's not what I did. Ms. McCabe, that's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you a yes or no question. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, cool. Moving on. He never lets her go until he gets exactly the answer that he's looking for. And every single question so far, for the most part, if you've noticed, if you have been with us all 4 parts, is a struggle. Is an absolute struggle. And the fact that it's a struggle by itself is a red flag, is a huge red flag. It should not be this much of a struggle to get the information from Jennifer. And the fact that it is, I guarantee that the jurors, BS detectors, let's call them BS detectors, they were probably going off about 100 times during her testimony. I have zero doubt about that. I wish I was in the room to see it, but everybody and their mother wanted to be in the room on that day, so there's no way in hell I would have been able to get a seat in that room. But I will be back. I will be back in the middle of June. I'm going to be back in that courtroom, God willing. Cross your fingers, folks.
Sounds like that's a little rehearsed.
Not at all. It's not
Objection.
at all.
I'll let the answer stand.
You left the location about 1:45, is that right?
Yes.
You didn't see anything out of the ordinary as you got in. Was it your car or Mr. McCabe's car?
It was my car.
When you got in that SUV of yours, you didn't see anything out of the ordinary outside, correct?
I wasn't looking outside.
Okay. I know that that is the answer that you want to give to every question. My question is yes or no. Did you see anything out of the ordinary?
No.
Thank you.
See? There it is again. Struggle. There's a fight for every question.
You didn't see anything out of the ordinary when you got in the vehicle?
No.
You didn't see anything out of the ordinary when the vehicle backed up?
No.
When that vehicle turned to the, I guess it would be to the right, to leave toward Chapman, and the headlights illuminated the area in front of you? Didn't see anything out of the ordinary then either?
I wasn't looking out the front window.
Again, there's that question. There's that answer. My question is, did you see anything out of the ordinary?
Well, you were asking about the headlights out the front. That's why I said I didn't see anything out there front.
Oh, you didn't see the headlights turned on?
I was turned to the back.
Right. Did you see that the headlights came on in the car?
Yes, in the driveway, the headlights came on.
Right. And you're seated in the front passenger seat, correct?
Correct.
So, according to you, you got in the car and immediately twisted yourself, looking directly to the rear, and never turned back around and never looked outside the windows.
Correct.
Got it. Is that normal for you?
Yeah, I'm a very chatty person, so I turned to talk to the girls.
So you made sure that you didn't look out the window.
Nope, that's not it at all.
You made sure that you didn't look out the window. Why is that important? Because then she would see a body. It's important to her farce of a story that she never looked out the window again after the SUV left. So again, think about it. There's actually a piece that I missed here that I want to point out. She looked out the window 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Every 2 minutes, she's looking out the window. Is everything okay? Where's John? Where's John? SUV? Where's the SUV? Nobody? Okay, cool. And then as soon as the SUV leaves, she's done with the outside. I'm no longer interested in anything that's going on out there. Whereas before, she was looking every 2 minutes, 5 times, even a 6th time. Do you understand how absurd it sounds? And Alan is pointing that fact out. He's shoving it in her face. He is pointing the jurors to that fact. It is important to your story that you never looked out that window again, isn't it? Because, and this is the part he didn't say, or at least hadn't said yet, it's important to your part of the story because if you had looked out the window, you would have seen a body, and now you're complicit in covering up the death of a human being. Bingo.
Hear some of the girls in the back, since they were so chatty, talking about bread and sandwiches or something, right?
Correct.
But you never heard anybody say anything about noticing anything out of the ordinary, correct?
Correct.
You didn't hear Julie Nagel say that she saw a black object in the yard.
Never heard that.
But you were turned around looking right out, according to you, correct?
Correct.
Indeed, engaging them in conversation, according to you,
Correct.
so that you could make sure that you weren't looking out the front or right windows.
Objection.
Oh,
Can you answer that? Is that
there
why
it
you
is
did-
again. Making sure that you weren't looking at the windows, because if you had been, you would have seen the body. And Lally doesn't like that, of course.
No, that's not why I did it. I was talking to the two girls.
Seems
When
very
you got
gross.
home, what did you do?
I went up to bed.
What time do you think you got home?
Somewhere after approximately, between 2 and 2:15.
It took you a few minutes to drop the girls off.
Correct.
When you got home, you got on your phone, correct?
Yes.
Before you got on your phone, you went upstairs to your bedroom.
Yes.
Did you use any applications? Well, let me ask it this way first. Did you make any phone calls, just using your phone, any phone calls after you got home, either downstairs or upstairs?
I do not believe so.
Did you use any applications to communicate with anybody through Wi-Fi? Do you know what I mean by that? Like FaceTime audio or WhatsApp, phone calls, things like that?
A text message?
No, actually, and you may not use these, but I'm asking, did you use any kind of third-party app that uses Wi-Fi, VoIP calls, other than just a phone call?
No.
Okay. Sounds like you don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Fair enough. So it's safe to say that you didn't use or you don't use any multimedia to communicate. You don't use FaceTime or Snapchat or Signal or anything like that.
I've used FaceTime with my children, yes.
Not for phone calls.
No.
Like FaceTime audio is a way that you can make a call. No?
I've FaceTimed with my kids at school, but,
That's videos. Right?
oh, okay, so yeah, I guess not.
You didn't do that night either.
Not that I recall.
Did you, now I'm going to get back to your question. Did you text anybody?
I did, yes.
Who did you text?
I texted my sisters, and I texted my husband and a friend in a group chat.
You texted your husband and a friend in a group chat? Is that yes?
Yes,
Your husband was home?
yes.
I want to switch gears for a second. And ask you real quick about later that morning when you went to John O'Keefe's house. You mentioned on Friday that you went into his house and began to look around for him when you first got there with Carrie Roberts and my client, Karen Reed, correct?
Yes,
You indicated that you looked in his bedroom and saw that the bed was made, correct?
yes,
You also you indicated that you looked around other parts of the house looking for him, searching for him, is that right?
yes,
You obviously saw the blankets and pillows on the couch downstairs in the living room, correct?
I peeked over at the couch.
And you're aware that Karen Reed stayed on the couch that night to wait for John to come home.
I'm not aware of that, no.
You testified on Friday that my client said at the scene, when you got back to the scene, 34 Fairview, just after 6 a.m., that she said, I hit him 3 times. She declared it, correct?
Correct.
Not once, not twice, 3 times. I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, correct?
Correct.
You have a very specific memory of that event, do you not?
I do.
Obviously, that's an incredibly impactful thing for you to remember. Is that right?
It was an impactful statement, yes.
And you remember it today as well as you remembered it the day she did it.
Yes.
Again, what's with the side eye? I don't get it. She is testifying allegedly from memory. Why is she so uncomfortable with her own words being read back to her just from a couple days prior? You know, this is the Tuesday, day 15 of the trial of her testimony. We are now on day, I believe, day 20 or something like that as of the recording of this video. This was from day 14 that he's asking her, and she seems uncomfortable with her own words. Again, a mark of someone who's trying to deceive. Like, what is he getting at? Why is he asking me this? That's not the hallmark of someone telling the truth.
I'm going to hand you a document. Did you, before I ask you about that specific document, did you review anything before you testified in preparation for your testimony today or Friday?
Yes.
Did you review your grand jury testimony?
I did, yes.
Understood. You did review your grand jury testimony, correct?
Yes.
So the document in front of you, you recognize it?
Yes.
That is, in fact, a true and correct copy of your grand jury testimony that you gave on April 26th, 2022. Is that right?
Correct.
You'll agree that your testimony in that case, in that hearing, rather, April of 2022, that was just a few months after the events in question, right?
Yes.
You were under oath at the time that you gave that testimony,
Yes.
and you were subject to the penalty of perjury when you were answering those questions, correct?
Yes.
Ms. McCabe, I'd like you to turn to the page, since you've reviewed this, turn to the page of that document where you ever said in your testimony that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Did you see what just happened? For those of you who missed it, let me explain. Anytime a lawyer on cross-examination asks the question, you remember that you testified under the penalty of perjury. You know you're about to get your a-hole carved out. Because anytime the word perjury is thrown out, that means your testimony in court on Friday was perjurious? Is that a word? If it's not, it is now. Perjurious to the testimony here today, or compared to the testimony of previous days. Alan set it up beautifully. Did you review your testimony before? Yes, I have. Did you come prepared? Yes, I have. You testified on Friday that you heard Karen Reed say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Yes, I did, because that's what happened. You have a memory of that. Yes, I do. Okay. Show me. What?
Was I asked what she said?
I get to ask the questions.
Well, I'd like you to direct me where to look.
I want you to look at the entire grand jury testimony if you need to, and turn to the page where you ever said that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
I'm not sure if it's in this document, but I can tell you today with 100% clarity, she said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him on that morning.
So it's not in that document, is it?
I'm not sure if I could take the time, and do you want me to read over 200 pages?
May I approach?
Yes.
No, I don't want to take the time. Because you just indicated that you reviewed this document in anticipation of your testimony.
Exactly.
Correct.
So you've gone over it recently.
A few weeks back.
Oh, now it's a few weeks back. See? Now she's starting to distance herself. Alan, in hindsight, and again, hindsight is always 20/20, folks, and I'm not there. I'm not in the heat of the moment. I understand. I'm not trying to take points away. But for Alan to simply ask, when was the last time you reviewed this document before getting to the question, would have been much, much better. Because she probably maybe would have said last week. Now it's too late. Now she said a few weeks ago. So she kind of protected herself a little bit, but still not good enough. She's finding ways. She's very good at it. She's an excellent manipulator, excellent con artist. She's really good at this stuff. It's frightening. It's actually terrifying how good at it she is. She has had years of practice of deception. and manipulation of others.
You know that you never testified to that in the grand jury in April of 2022, don't you?
I don't know that as a fact. I would have to reread 222 pages, or however long it is.
You think you might have missed it when you reviewed your testimony in anticipation for, when you reviewed your transcript in anticipation for your testimony?
Objection.
That's a good question.
I read it a few weeks ago,
It's probably the most powerful part of your testimony, ma'am.
and I will never forget it.
Objection.
Okay, so that's stricken.
Would you agree? Do you think that's a powerful part of your testimony?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
It is, yes.
And how do you forget it? And where it is in your grand jury testimony? You know why you forgot it's in your grand jury testimony? Because it doesn't exist in the grand jury testimony. That's why. And now the jury knows it. Too late.
Did you see it in the transcript?
I cannot recall. It's over 200 pages.
May I approach on?
Yes.
These are select pages. That's 190, 192, 193.
I think he's showing Lally
201.
the document that he's about to show, the witness, Jennifer McCabe.
I'm just going to show that.
That's why we hear the whispering. There it is. Now you can see it on camera.
Yeah. These are select pages out of your grand jury testimony. Isn't it true, Ms. McCabe, that you were asked when you testified no fewer than 12 times what my client said, either at the scene or on the way to the scene?
Again, this is called prior inconsistent statement. When you testify in court and you say something like, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, that you heard Karen Reed say, but previously you never said those words in that order, in that fashion, in that way, with that emphasis, it goes to show that you are lying in court and you could be subject to perjury. Now, of course, perjury is a crime, and it would require someone like Lally to prosecute Jennifer McCabe for that crime. They can choose not to do it. I myself can tell you I had a situation where I had a police officer who admitted to committing a felony on the witness stand. Now, thankfully, that officer was very quickly fired, but I asked the prosecutor, are you going to prosecute him for the crime that has been committed? And he said no, because he doesn't have to. They protect their own, because the minute he prosecutes a cop, his career is over, and he knows it, because the thin blue line will have been broken between the prosecutor and the cops. So good luck finding a prosecutor who will prosecute a cop. They're very rare and very far in between, almost non-existent.
At the scene, I was asked twice, according to this.
My question is, isn't it true that in April of 2022, you testified no fewer than 12 times, 12 separate statements you gave about what my client's statements were, either at the scene or in the car ride on leading up to go into the scene? You remember that?
I do.
Okay, so on page 190 of what you're looking at, these should all be highlighted.
It is.
You testified that my client said to you over the phone at 4:53 a.m., she asked the question, did I hit him? You see that?
I do.
Number two, on page 192, talking about when y'all were in the car on the way to the scene, Karen asked the question, could I have hit him? You see that?
Yes.
Page 193, lines 1 through 2.
Pay attention. He's disassembling her statement. He's showing the jury that Jennifer McCabe lied in court on the 14th day of trial of the Karen Reed murder trial. He is pinpointing all the questions. Did I hit him? Could I have hit him? And her statement, Jennifer McCabe's statement about what Karen Reed's statement was, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, is a lie. And here's where it is found.
You testified that in the car, once again, she asked the question, could she have hit him? You were relaying that, meaning could I have hit him, correct?
Correct.
Page 193, line 23. In John's driveway, she asked the question, quote, and she is asking if she could have hit him.
Yes.
Page 201, driving to Fairview. She asked the question, what if I hit him? And could I have hit him? Correct?
Correct.
Page 202, lines 1 through 2. While driving to Fairview, she asked the question, could I have hit him?
Correct.
Page 208, lines 24 through 25, outside at Fairview, she asked the question, did I hit him? And went on to ask, could I have hit him? Correct?
Correct.
And your testimony was also on page 208 that Karen was yelling nonstop in front of the female EMT, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead? Correct?
Correct.
May I approach?
Yes.
By the way, that was a question for the judge. I have no idea why Jennifer McCabe just said yes to that one. Again, goes to show how much she wants to be in control, how much she is craving to be in control.
That's 12 times that you reiterated under oath, under penalty of perjury, in April of 2022, what my client's statements were, either at the scene or leading up to getting to the scene. Correct?
Correct.
Every single one of those, 12 separate times, you indicated that she asked a question, something like, could I have hit him or did I hit him? Correct?
Correct.
Not one time in that testimony did you say she declared, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Did you?
The questions that were asked, when she said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, that was at the scene in response to an officer asking questions. What I just read was us when she first called me, or when we were driving in the car, or when we were at John's house. So I was answering the question that I was asked.
So you believe that you weren't asked the question, did she say to an officer, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him? And if you're not asked the question, did she say to an officer, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him? You're not going to volunteer that she said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. That's your testimony.
No, that's not.
Your testimony.
My testimony is, an officer was asking her what his name was and different things about him. And at that point, she was saying, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Which officer?
I do not recall.
Well, you recall the I hit him. You just told me that was the most impactful thing in the morning.
It was shocking.
So what officer did she say this to, supposedly?
I was more focused on her and her hysteria than which officer was asking the question.
So you have no idea who the officer was even, correct?
I'm not sure which officer was asking her. It could have been an EMT. Someone said, what is his name? Does he have medical conditions? How old is he?
But you were asked that question, ma'am. On page 208, you were asked what she said in front of the female EMT who was asking her questions. And her answer was, your answer was, she said, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead? Is that right?
That is correct.
That
But
might have been a good
So
time.
that means you are modifying your testimony here today, madam. That is the statement that is being unsaid.
Time to offer up that she confessed, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, right?
Objection.
Sustained as to that form.
Ms. McCabe, the truth of the matter is you've manufactured this new story for this jury because you think it helps you out.
absolutely not.
Oh, you manufactured this story because it helps you, did you not? Very rarely in a cross-examination do you get to ask the million-dollar question. This is one of those 1 in a million instances where you go for the gullet, where you go for the jugular. You make the jury aware. Otherwise, you let them deduce it on their own devices and then you save it for closing. Not with this witch. He wanted to make sure the jury heard exactly what he wants them to hear. Rather than it being done subtly, which it already has been, he point blank asks her, "You manufactured this, didn't you?" Thank you all so much for joining me. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you're starting to see what sort of evil demon Jennifer McCabe is and what she is actually capable of. Look at how she's just playing fiddle with Alan Jackson, and Alan is just slowly, methodically disassembling Jennifer McCabe and her story. Listen to the nuances. Pay attention to what I am telling you to pay attention to. You will see you're going to have a lot of questions, and I'm here to provide you with the answers, as always. So I hope you all learned something, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.